Welcome to the Purple Elephant Show. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this episode is a joy for me to do. But before I go any further, I have to do the housekeeping. Housekeeping, thepurpleelephantshow.com, the main podcasting platform. Also, if you are watching this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button followed by the notification bell. That way you know when a video is uploaded. If you are watching on Dailymotion, feel free to hit the subscribe button. And on thepurpleelephantshow.com, with the podcast, there are podcast-only episodes that are there along with the regular podcast episodes. Podcast-only episodes, you will know they are such by the PCO followed by the episode number. So keep that in mind. To follow the show on Parler, The Purple Elephant Show. To follow on Instagram, The Purple Elephant Show. To follow on Facebook, facebook.com, The Purple Elephant Show. To follow on Twitter, at Real TPES. Now we got the housekeeping stuff out the way. I have looked so forward to this episode. This was part of my administrative stuff that I said I was working on. And by part of, I mean like maybe 5 to 10%, give or take. I still have another 90 to 95% stuff that I'm working on behind the scenes that you will soon see and hear about after it is completed. And you will be the first to know. But Parler getting verified was one of the things on the administrative. And yes, the account is Parler verified now. And that was amazing for me because honestly, when I submitted the information, I went into this thinking, oh, they're a new app or newer app. It'll probably take them like 2 weeks to a month to verify. They verified my Parler account in 2 days. I was shocked. And it's really, really cool to know that they're really on top of that. The other reason I want to talk about Parler, and not just being Parler verified, is because it's amazing that Parler starts with a P, but you know what else starts with a P? Pushback. This is what pushback looks like. I don't have an issue with people saying, hey, we need to sue tech companies or create new legislation or alter the current legislation, Section 230. I don't mind that. What irritates me, because, and I mentioned this before on my episode, it was either Dear Conservatives and Republicans or Dear Republicans or whatever, please stop complaining about tech companies or something like that. It's on one of those old episodes. ThePurpleElephantShow.com, scroll through, you'll find it. You'll see what I'm talking about for that, if you want the whole thing. But long story short, just constantly complaining and not doing anything else, that is where I had an issue. This is what pushback looks like. This is why I love capitalism. Because capitalism has given us Parler. Now, not to say that the creators of Parler would sell to another company, because if Google comes to Parler and it's like, oh, this app is doing really well, I'll offer you $1 billion, because you know Google can find $1 billion in their couch. And Parler decides to sell the app to Google, well, then that goes downhill. But still, this is what pushback looks like. And I want to see more of this. Gab is another platform that does that. They're not getting as much traction as Parler, though. Parler is getting a lot of traction. And one of the things that I like about what was said about what's happening right now, I believe it was by one of the people at Parler. He called it Technocronyism. And that's exactly what it is when it comes to all of these social media platforms, all of these app stores, all of these operating systems, and everything else. It's technocronyism. And I'll discuss that more in my episode that I plan on doing today. The title of the episode, You've Just Been Erased. So keep that in mind too. But I like this type of pushback. You will be surprised what happens when you push back. Because as I have said before, and as I'm repeating this quote, when you stop fighting for what you want, you will get much of what you don't want. You can't just acquiesce and say, oh, well, that's the way things are, and just complain the whole time and not push back. The people at Parler, this is what pushback looks like. And I want more. Just like with Netflix, who would have ever thought that Netflix would be one of the largest companies in the world? That was pushback. For those who don't know the story, Netflix was created because of Blockbuster late fees. It was on Apollo 13. And Blockbuster knew they were gouging their customers. 10 to 13% of Blockbuster's late fees, let me rephrase. 10 to 13% of Blockbuster's revenue came from their late fees. If, if they knew 10 to 13% of their revenue came from late fees, something wasn't right. They knew they were gouging their customers. They could have redone and updated their system to make it a win for Blockbuster and a win for their customers. But instead, they were like, oh, well, 10 to 13% of our revenue comes from late fees. We'll just go ahead and keep them in place. They're paying them. And then, lo and behold, one person got upset after a ridiculous late fee, and that is how Netflix started decades ago. And now look at Netflix. That, like I said, this is why I love capitalism. Because in capitalism, you can push back. In socialism, you can't. You don't have the resources. Because any resources that you have, the government tries to take it. I am really happy that Parler is doing well. I hope Parler continues to do well. I personally I will make it a point to parlay more because I don't use Parler as much as I could, and I will make it a point to parlay more with Parler because this app needs to gain traction. Because as I said before, this is what pushback looks like. And kudos to Parler for their quick verification process. Kudos to Parler for being willing to push back. And I wish Parler a long and prosperous and growing and thriving, amazing company. And side note, please don't sell out. Please, please, please don't sell out. Unless it's really good and you're selling it to somebody you can trust. It's like giving away your firstborn. But yeah, that's all I got. I just wanted to let you guys know that. I said I would do a Parler episode. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. ThePurpleElephantShow.com for the main podcasting website. The Purple Elephant Show, obviously, on Parler. The Purple Elephant Show on Instagram. Facebook.com/The Purple Elephant Show. At Real TPES on Twitter. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you. Those who have been listening, those who have been watching, those who have been supporting. I see you. I know what the metrics are on the podcast. It's been very interesting to see new countries constantly pop up. I appreciate those who are listening to this podcast in different countries. It means a lot to me. And if you're listening in a different country, shout out from me to you from the United States of America. Be blessed.